I got 200 students to party behind my principal's house after he pulled the pettiest power move. If the movie Mean Girls had Regina George, my school had Elaine, the principal's daughter. The girl who made everyone else's high school experience miserable. She could literally push you down the stairwell and her principal daddy would cover it up. I was in her class for 3 years. I've watched her push people out of lines, key teachers' cars when they gave low grades, spread horrible rumors. She once told the entire school that my best friend Nicole had lice, all because Elaine was jealous at how naturally long and luscious it was. The principal told her to shave her head right there during homeroom or get sent home. Since we had a major exam that day, Nicole had no choice. Since then, Nicole's been too scared to grow back her hair. Everyone hated her, but we couldn't do anything because her dad was just as horrible as she was. Until this year. Prom season arrived, and Elaine had been acting like she'd already won. But this year, I was on the prom committee, and I came up with a way to finally fight back. Instead of anonymous ballots, every ballot had to have your full name and signature. No chance of cheating. Of course, Elaine didn't care. She thought people would be too scared to vote against her. We held the voting in the morning, and by lunch, the results for nominations were posted outside the gym. I watched her stand there in front of the poster completely frozen. Elaine only had 13 votes. She was out of the race to be prom queen. She ripped the sheet off the wall and screamed, "This is rigged! I had at least 100 votes!" She grabbed one of the students on the committee and shouted, "Count it again, or I'll make sure the entire committee gets expelled." We held another voting day 3 days later, and the results were definitely different. This time, Elaine dropped down to last place with only 8 votes. She marched straight to her daddy's office, her nostrils flaring angrily with each step. 20 minutes later, she stepped out with a smug expression. We braced ourselves for the worst, but weeks went by and nothing happened. Whenever someone would bring up prom in front of her, she didn't react. She just shrugged it off. People actually started to relax, thinking she accepted things. But 1 week before prom, her principal daddy made an announcement. Prom was officially canceled. There's been budget reallocations, he said, but none of us believed it. This was a petty little revenge. He had waited at the very last second, right when we had all our gowns picked out, sold tickets, ordered decorations, booked photographers. He wanted us to suffer, emotionally, socially, and financially. And this didn't sit right with me. I called an emergency meeting with the prom committee that same afternoon and told them, "Prom's not over." They stared at me confused. Not sure if you heard the principal, but I don't give a crap what he said. We worked too hard for all of this to go to waste, I said, slamming my hands on the table. "So then what do we do?" they asked. I grinned. "We'll have it at a public park. Free parking, public venue. Best part is, it's right behind the principal's house. He'll see it, he'll hear it. He won't be able to do a thing about it. Let's fight petty with petty." Suddenly, the committee was full of energy again. Word spread fast. Within a week, I had 200 people confirmed. The night of prom, the park looked magical. We had string lights, a rented dance floor in the grass, flower backdrops, DJ, red carpet. People even brought their own blankets to sit out in the grass when they got tired. It was better than having it at the school gym. Even the parents of the kids stayed to watch and admire what we were able to pull off last minute. But the best was yet to come. At exactly 7 p.m., the principal stepped onto his back porch and spotted us. 200 teenagers in formal wear partying just 30 feet from his fence. He tried to shout at us, called us delinquents, threatened suspension, but the DJ just turned up the music. He sprinted through his backyard and beelined toward the party to stop it, but the parents there quickly stopped him. "The kids worked hard on this. You're not ruining it. Not tonight." His face turned red with rage. "Oh yeah? We'll see about that." He grinned and pulled out his phone to call the cops. "Hello? I'm here to report a disturbance." Within minutes, a squad car pulled up to the park. The principal practically ran to meet the officers, looking relieved. "Thank goodness you're here. These kids are bothering the whole neighborhood. They put up a party without my permission," he explained. I walked over and waved at the officer with a smile. "Hey, Dad," I called out. The principal's face went pale. My dad hugged me and looked at the principal. "I don't see a problem here. This is getting done on public property. It's completely legal." The principal stood there shocked. To end the night, we finally crowned the prom king and queen. My friend Nicole, who showed up with a beautiful long wig, won prom queen. When they placed the tiara on her head, 200 people cheered so loud it echoed across the park. Only one person shouted louder than the others. It was Elaine, who screamed "no" from her bedroom window, completely losing it.